Hey guys, this is first of all, today's Sunday, October the 2nd of 2022, and I was chatting with a YouTuber in regards to crude oil, and I wanted to do a quick update. This is just cycle. I'm not going to show you charts, just kind of cycles, just kind of show you what I'm seeing. I was just sharing this information with this YouTuber. Um, you know my motto. I start with the weekly and then work my way down to the daily. And I like to use a lot of data on the weekly. So I'm going as far back as July of 2006 all the way to current prices. And there's four here that are, important. We'll start with the bigger one. And it's actually the stronger one. The first one is the 253 cycle. This one is about to peak right now in November. And you can see that we kind of sold off early, pulled back. Yeah, just looking at this, it doesn't surprise me if we get a bounce and shake out all the bears and then maybe turn if it's going to follow this weekly cycle. Correlation is actually really good with this weekly cycle. It's a 0.59. It just looks like price action came in early, but it could be a trap and maybe push higher. But that's just me speculating. The next one is the 145. The 145 already peaked out in March of this year. It hits a trough somewhere around July of 2023. The correlation here is not great, but this one's already peaked out and the cycle is down. The next one is the 184, which is the third one. We hit a peak somewhere around January this year, and this cycle hit the trough around September of 2023. And the correlation is not great here. The best one is the 253. Correlation is pretty tight. The last one, which is the fourth important one, is the dominant cycle on the weekly. It's the 45. You can see that this is a little more fractal. Now let's narrow down from 2020 to now. You can see that on the 45 dominant cycle, we hit a peak low on September the 19th around there. And now this cycle is going up all the way to February of 2023. So could this be a fake? Now we're going to retest this high. I've always said sometimes the markets like to retest things, and 120 looks possible. So let's do something here. Since we already seen the other three cycles, the 253, the 145, and the 184, I'm going to use the 45 dominant cycle, which is a little more fractal, as a pivot point, and I'm going to go through the other three cycles. And it's going to create a composite. So we're going to start off with the 253. The 253 says that, there's a potential for a swing low here, and we go up into February of next year and then go down. So that's a possibility. Correlation is really good, 0.63, and in this time frame, it's a 0.93. Let's take that off and add the 145. Now this cycle, you see that it goes lower, and the correlation is not good. But in this time frame, the correlation is pretty good at 0.64. So it shows that there's going to be a potential stall here around November. Kind of goes sideways, but then kind of really hit a trough somewhere around July 2023. Let's take that one off and put the 184, and it kind of has the same thing. And this time frame correlation is a 0.84. So it hits a peak trough around October, goes up or sideways to like January, and then hits a trough around July 2023. So the best one, if you're bullish, will probably be this one, where it could find a low, maybe now, and then retest that high going into next year. So that's what the cycles are showing on the weekly chart with composites using different time frames. And if we were to take the through 253, put the 145 and the 184, the most pretty important ones, and it's just pretty much a down cycle. But we know that it's not going to continue going down. It's going to be fluctuations going high, up and then down, up and down. So the best guess would be on the weekly is taking the dominant and just kind of seeing these fluctuations. And this is what I wanted to show you. Now let's look at the daily and see what we could get out of the daily chart. Okay, so this is the daily weekly chart. Mind you, these are closes. And I'm using data from October 2015. Like on my daily charts, I like to go past 5 years. I think I get a better gauge on what's going on with the instrument. So let's dissect this. So we have, looks like we have maybe 3. You could probably say 4 because I want to include the dominant cycle. So we'll start with the bigger one, the stronger one, the 359. So the 359 correlation is 0.50, not bad. The cycle is down all the way to November of this year. So it'll be interesting to see if this continues selling pressure, it could finally bottom out somewhere around November. So that's the biggest one. The next one is the 173. Now this one already bottomed out in August and it goes up into December. So it ends the year strong. The third one is 247. This one already hits a trough right now, pretty much on the daily. So we were to take, let's see, the 247 and the 359. We're getting very close to a bottom. We were to do the 173 and the 247. It already bottomed out and the cycles are up. Add them all 3 and pretty much we already hit the trough with a composite. The correlation here is a 0.71. So it will go up into pretty much the end of the year. Now we take all 3 of those out. And I did see something here. Let's see. Yeah, so if we were to use just the 2, the 359 and the 173, pretty much the same thing. Rally all the way to the end of the year. Now we're going to throw in the 96, which is the dominant cycle. I have it as 97. And the correlation is not great, but the analysis is picking up that 96 is the dominant cycle. This one is up to October. Then it goes down into December. So if we take that 97 and then add the 359, there should be a little rally here, and then it goes down into December. We take the 97 and the 173, then there's a little strong rally all the way to like November, December, and then kind of go down. And the 97 with the 247, we get a strong rally, a pullback into November, and then end the year into 2023 very strong. So those are, your options of probability. But I could probably see this looking at the weeklies and the dailies together. I could potentially see, using probability where it could probably start turning around and start going up and eventually maybe retest these things. That's not including, the situation globally with the world and energy and Ukraine and Russia and all this other stuff. Things could, speed up really quick if things escalate down there with the war and all that. So, but this is just a little idea just to kind of show you what the weeklies and the dailies are showing. And then you could decide, in regards to risk factor, if there's, probability where, you could be buying once you get the buying signal that it could potentially go higher or retest these highs, or maybe, pull back down and continue going down. I'm kind of leaning where maybe it could kind of stall here a little bit. Maybe, start pushing higher, but, we'll see. But I figured I wanted to give you an update. I know I'm not going to go through the other charts because I don't have time. It's Sunday, and I got to spend time with the kids and the family, but I want to just put this update real quick in regards to crude oil. Hopefully you like it. Give it a like button, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on crude oil using cycles analysis.